Happy Friday, everyone. It is newsletter time, and I have a beautiful assistant to help me today. This is my granddaughter, Sophia. You guys might have seen her acting the fool on the Christmas video. I don't know if you caught that or not, but she was also, I don't know, last summer, she was kind of helping me a little bit. And anyway, she was here visiting, so we thought we would put her on camera with me. So what we are going to do today is, this is our new, what?
She's yawning.
She's yawning. I'm boring her already. So we are going to, this is our new Valentine set. So you guys saw I think you saw this one a week or so ago, but this is all of our new Valentine set. And so this will be available within, what, a week or so. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually carve, each one of these is a little bit different. I wanted to talk about it. Each one of these could be carved differently. It can either be carved inset or outset. This is a perfect example. And some of them I like better inset. In this particular one, normally I like the inset better, but on this one I like the outset. But you know, it's kind of however you want to do it. But some of these you can see are inset and some of them are outset. What I wanted to talk about really on this first scene is the difficulties in the challenges with some of them. For instance, this little Cupid with the bow down here. This one, what you might want to do is, it comes this way without an arrow.
Hold it down next.
Oh, down here?
Next to the board.
Like that?
Where it's carved. Yeah, that's fine.
That help? Yeah. It comes without the arrow, but I added the one that I carved, I added the arrow. But this one probably wouldn't be very easy to carve outset. Some of them, it really makes no difference from a difficulty standpoint. It just depends on how you want it to look and what you like best. So this one I would probably stay with inset. But the other one now, this one is outset. I'm going to carve this one inset on camera on the next scene. But some of these you can see the writing ones, I did this one inset, these two outset. No real problem. It's just where you're going to have your line in there, because the way the layout templates are, oh, I better put up a board otherwise you won't see it. The way they are, Vicky designed all these, by the way, or she made them. It's got a big fat line in the center, so you would want to draw a line top and bottom. And I'll show you how to do that, because I'm going to carve one of these as well. This one, I'm not sure that the double heart one here, I'm not sure I really like it outset. This is carved outset. This actually looks like it's carved outset, but it's actually carved inset because of the way it's made. Well, let me turn this over. Because of the way it's made, I just carved the lines. And I like it better that way, I think, than if I carved it the other way. But again, you guys, if you end up getting these, you can play around with them and see what you like best. Some of them, I think, are better inset. Some of them are outset. Another thing that you can do, that we didn't talk about, babe, but I'm going to do it anyway. Another thing that you can do is, which I thought would be kind of an interesting little add-on. Any of these you could do this with, especially if they're outset, is you can make these little hearts red, which I thought would be kind of a neat little addition. I'll just do the one. And that adds a little color to it. Looks kind of cool. The thing that you can do as well, if you, like for instance, if you wanted the lips red, you have the choice of doing it outset and then using a Sharpie like I did, or you could use a paint pen. All right there? Thought you were going to blow an eyeball out or something. You look like you were going to sneeze. Or you could do it inset and then use the red ink and do it inset with a texture like this, only do it red. And you could do this red as well with a spray. So I just wanted to kind of go over that a little bit. I really like this set. Vicky did a phenomenal job putting this together. And Valentine's Day is a big day for carved signs, guys. I think if you really go out there and let people know what you do, I think Valentine's Day could be a big sale day for you, or a sale time of the year, I guess. Anyway, that's why I wanted to get this done early in January to give you guys plenty of time. So if you want these, like I say, you can contact Vic, or they'll be available on the website within a week or so. But we'll go on to the next scene, and then we'll carve a couple of these right on camera, and I'll show you kind of how I go about carving them. So we'll be right back. Okay guys, we are back. So here's what I'm going to do, and I might have mentioned this before, I can't remember, but this, obviously I carved this outset on this board, but I want to carve it inset to just show you how I do that, and then the opposite, this was outset there, I'm going to carve this inset as well. So I'm going to go ahead and spray that in case you guys hadn't seen what I use for my black, all that black that you see there, and for my layout I'm using the Rust-Oleum primer. I also use the Marsh Spray Stencil ink, which you guys have seen on many of the videos. So just let me spray this real quick. So this is how I do my layout, in case you guys hadn't seen that before. And that gives me a line to go by. So now my beautiful assistant, and you can just see her hands. Put your hands out here, Sophia. Thank you. I will hand it to her. She's going to take it outside and move it around and dry it off. So, thank you, Miss Sophia.
You're welcome, Mr. Roden.
Okay. All right. So now I am going to, now all of this stuff, guys, I've carved with just 2 bits. Most all of the carving was done with the profile bit. And that's what this is right here. But before I even show that, check this out, guys. I got one of these. One of my guys, Kent Holzer, you know who you are, and many of you know who Kent is, said that he had been using one of these on his router for lighting, and I decided to get one. Oops. I decided to get one. What?
The other way. You had it.
This way? It reads that way.
Okay.
Okay, anyway. It's called Luminolight. Anyway, we just bought it. Where did we buy it? On Amazon?
Amazon.
Yeah, we just found it on Amazon. But it works really good. It just clips right on there. And then I played around with it yesterday when I was kind of, I'm going to turn it this way so you guys can see what I see. But it's got 2 different strengths, and it shines right down. You can kind of move it and shine it right where you want it. Does that show up? Okay, good, because we hadn't practiced that. Anyway, so I really like it. It's really cool. I don't know long term how long it's going to last because of the vibration and stuff, but I know I carved all of this stuff, all of this board here that you guys just saw. I carved it all with that yesterday, and it held up good. So anyway, you guys might pick yourself up one of those because it works. I'm always playing around with different ways to light and see what I'm carving a little bit better. So anyway, this is, let me turn this off for now. This is the profile bit. I don't know if you can see that. Is that dry, Sophia? Okay, good, good. We can roll right into it then. So this is the profile bit. So what I did, the profile bit is what I used. I use a profile bit on all of this. The only place I use the 90, and I'll show you that in a minute, is to do this texture in the background. But all of these single lines, it was all done with the profile bit. And I'm going to show you that here in a minute. So let me get this paper out of the way. Miss Assistant, thank you. I like having an assistant. That's pretty cool. All right, so let me see, is there a yardstick in the corner there? I'm gonna need that. So now, this one, this I Love You, I've decided I'm going to carve this inset. And being as the way this thing lays out, it's got that big fat line, you're missing some spots in here. So you got to kind of fill those in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw kind of a straight line through there. And that'll give me kind of a reference line. The cool thing is these are like bubble letters, guys, so it really is not that big a deal. But I'm going to go ahead and just draw those in. Draw in the tops of these letters and then the bottoms of these letters. And I'm just going to kind of, this gives me just a kind of a reference line to go by. And I'm carving both of these inset, right? Yeah. So what I like to do is I like to write like what I did yesterday when I was carving all 10 of those, since some of them were and some of them weren't. I just write in here inset, inset, and that lets me know before I drop in there that that's what I want to accomplish. That's what I want it to look like. All right, so now, next process, after you've sprayed this stuff, you're going to have some of that black residue kind of want to come off. And you don't want that to cause your router base to stick. So I just take an old sanding sponge and just kind of sand across it, try and get that off of there. See what that does? And then I use my stiff bristle brush and just brush the rest of it off. And that should work pretty good. Keeps that router base from sticking. So now we are going to roll right into some carving here. So I'll take my, let's see, yeah, that, oh, is that going to work for you with the cord there?
It's fine.
It's going to be okay? All right. So let me turn my light on here. And actually, there's an extra light with this little DeWalt. It actually has a light as well. Bang. I just smacked myself in the head with my... All right, so I hope I'm not forgetting something here. You guys, I'm sure, will have questions that I'm not answering, but I'm trying to think of a very conceivable question that could come up. So I'm going to make my original cut. These are both inset. I'm going to make my original cut with the profile bit, and I'm going to set it to where I think it's going to be about right, but I may have to adjust it. It's probably going to be 1/8 of an inch, 3/16, something like that. And we are just going to start carving right now. You all good? Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish that up, But before I do that, I think you guys have seen enough of that. I don't want to really drag this out, you know, a super long time. This one now, I'm going to back it off so it's not as deep. It's probably I'm going to back it off probably to about 1/8 of an inch because we have some really tiny little detail in here. Now what I do in instances like this, and you'll see this for that point on the arrow tip there and these little places, I'll probably move the router base and I'll probably be picking it up and you know, picking the edge of it up a little bit places here and there. Not in all of them, but in some of the places. So I'll do the really fine detailed work first. Okay, so in case you guys didn't catch that, could you tell when I was lifting the router base? Yeah, because I'm not sure that you could tell that. But like when I was down in here, because I knew I wanted to be that depth for everything else, when I was down in here to try and narrow the cut, I would lift the router base on one side just a little bit when I was in those tight spots. So now I'm going to go back. I think I'm going to make a second cut on both of these. But I'm going to go ahead and finish this I Love You off camera, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what the next step is. So we'll be right back. Okay, guys and gals. All right, so I've gone and I've carved the rest of this I Love You, and you can see that this is a different depth and a different width of cut than this, but it really doesn't matter from this standpoint. So my next step is I am going to drop my cutter down even deeper, probably somewhere around 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to take a little bit and I'm going to go all the way around the inside of there to give myself a little bit of room so that when I go in with my wider bit to take out the leftover stuff, I'm less likely to hit it. So I am probably right about at 1/4 of an inch depth on this pass. Here we go. Okay, so for those of you that haven't seen it before, what I just did is I call it giving it my buffer zone, which allows me, again, a little bit more room so I don't have to get quite as close with my 90-degree V-groove. But we'll go into that next step on the next scene. We'll be right back. Okay, we are back. This is our 90-degree V-groove bit. This is what I use to cut that texture in the background or on the big inset letters, which is what I'm doing now. I'm trying to spin it a little bit and give you some light on it. Comedy of errors. Is that showing up okay?
I think so.
Okay, good. All right, so let's get after it. Let's get it done. So this is the first time I've used the little Illumina light or whatever it's called on the big router. Oh, by the way, this is a different router. This is the DWP, or excuse me, the DW618. That other router that I used was the DWP611. This is the bigger, I think it's 2.5 horse is what it's rated at. 618, both DeWalt routers. I really like them. All right. Everything okay? All right, so here we go. I am going to go ahead and cut that texture in the background. And that is pretty much the carving, you guys. You saw that, and this is the reason I wanted to do this. This one was done a little bit different, the same bit, but my technique was a little bit different. When I have long, straight pieces like that I need to take out, a lot of times I will do that little dimple effect that I like, that I do sometimes on background. But when I have a lot of straight, long pieces, I like as much texture in there as I can, and I find that that works out really well for me. You okay over there, Sophia? Sounds like you got the hiccups. All right, so now, next step, you need to really brush these things. And I'm going to do a video pretty soon on the reason why. But I have my stiff bristle brush. As a matter of fact, you can see that thing is worn down pretty good. This is probably several years old, but you really got to make sure that you get all that stuff out of there. And now I can see that there's actually some leftover stuff in there. I use a little hand carving tool sometimes. And let me show you, even though I really brushed that heavy, you can see that there are some places like that and like down in here that you really need to get out. That stuff needs to come out, because if it doesn't come out now, it's going to come out later, and it's going to end up being white in your black or whatever color you decide to spray that. Nice background effect there, Sophia. we just roll. You okay? We're waiting for another one. Go ahead. All right. I think I got it all. All right, we'll come right back, guys. I'm going to get out a little bit more of this stuff. We got little pieces, kind of tough to hold it sideways. I got to make sure I don't chip off part of the letter. I'm going to brush this a little bit more and get some of this stuff out. We'll come back and spray this. We'll be right back. Okay, so we are going to use the same thing that we used before, and we are going to spray the black in there. Now, I talk about this all the time. This is pine that I'm using here, the Select Pine. And one of the worst things that you can do is overspray on this stuff. Now, I have put sanding sealer on this, like I talk about, but that doesn't eliminate all of the possibilities of bleeding. And what I mean by bleeding is it's soaking into the grain of the board and leaving you little black spots that you can't sand out. So whatever happens, just don't overspray this. That's all I'm going to put on there. Even at that, you can see there are some little lighter spots in there, but don't even worry about that. They won't show up. So we're going to let that dry. We'll come back in a minute. We'll sand it off. We'll be right back. We're back. So we are going to go ahead and sand this thing off now and see kind of what it looks like. Now what I'm going to use is two different sanders. I'm going to use my skill sander with my 40 grit belt in it, and then I'm going to come back with my 80 grit belt. So let's get to it here.
Did you do something to scare your granddaughter?
Yeah, I'm going to have to throw a gallon of water down her throat or something. She's still hiccuping. Here we go. So like I have mentioned in the past, I take most of it off with the 40 grit. Now I'll go back with the 80. All right, let's blow it off, see what it looks like. There it is. Not bad. A few little fuzzes on there, but that's okay. So this gives you an idea of the, okay, so this one is carved inset, that one's carved outset. I think I like the inset one better. All depends. This one is inset, that one's outset. I don't know. What do you think, Vic? You like the inset better? So anyway, it just kind of gives you an idea. You can carve them inset or outset. You can do colors in them, whatever you want. Anyway, guys, that's about it. So these layout templates, if you want to know what they're called, I think we had we have a picture here. Vic, these are what the names of them are. And you'll see these soon on makeawoodsign.com.
Right heart, lips, double heart, be mine, small heart, buck and doe, large
heart, buck and doe. Yeah.
Cherub heart.
And then there was a cherub bow. Yeah.
That's them.
Yeah, that's them. All right, that is it. We are done. I hope this was helpful for you guys. We appreciate it. Appreciate you watching. Come back over here, assistant. We're gonna wrap this thing up. You got my magnifiers on. Okay, so we appreciate you watching. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, let us know. Again, if you, I'm stumbling now. I don't know. Her hiccups has got me all worked up. Make a Wood Sign is our Instagram handle, I guess you'd call it. But again, hope this was helpful for you. So we will see you guys again on Monday. What am I forgetting, babe? Oh, subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. We appreciate you. We appreciate you watching and your support. And again, questions, comments below, or you can email me. My direct email is in the description below. Eric@makeawoodsign.com, and I'd be happy to answer any questions for you. Hope you guys have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys on Coffee and Questions on Monday. Bye bye.
Give it a big thumbs up.